Hello, hello, beautiful souls. Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. Hi, hi, Erla. Hi, Gloria. Hello, Kiola. How you guys doing? Are you having a really good week so far? How is your day? Okay, Gloria, no problem. See you soon. How are you guys doing? Just pop into the comments section and let me know how are you. How are you on Instagram? I am Paula Souza. For those of you who don't know me, I have been a makeup artist for over 20 somebody years, and I have been navigating this journey as an artist, not just making women look absolutely stunning and amazing, but what I do particularly is I help women to connect or reconnect with the inner beauty because you would be amazed to know how many attractive women there are out there who don't feel so good about themselves. So, my responsibility as a makeup artist is to help you to really connect with you because at the end of the day, when I finish making you look fabulous, as I told a client recently, I honestly can't take credit for your beauty. All I can take credit for is to enhance. So I just want you to know that every Wednesday for the last year and some change, I have been bringing these conversations that I refer to as Real Beauty Talk. And what they are, it's a series of conversations designed to inspire, motivate, encourage. Sometimes I'm chatting with a guest, sometimes I do solo conversations. So today actually, I consider today a special day. Every day is a special day, but today I feel like there's an extra special connection to today because I just celebrated my 53rd birthday last Friday. And I have had quite a few questions from different people over the years asking about what is the key to aging well and what are my self care practices. So today I am going to share from my pot of knowledge and wisdom that I've acquired over the years. And I will talk to you about the key to aging well and what my self care practice is. So, some quick announcements. I would like to remind you that I have the Real Beauty Talk Facebook group. You are welcome to invite your friends. You're welcome to join. It's a private group. Hello with me. And what my desire is in relation to the group is to build a safe space for us women and men to come in and have conversations about what your challenges are, and if you have any tips on as to how you overcome certain challenges. I invite you to share. The group is particularly for motivation and inspiration. So any post that is going to be political or social or anything about COVID or anything like that, not going to be approved. You want it to be like a real positive vibe space. So try to keep your thing and anything to do with anything that is self care. We're talking about food, skincare, just good vibes. I'm sure you're kind of getting it by now. And I don't want you to feel as though I'm the one who created the group and you're not welcome. You're welcome to share, you're welcome to invite other people. I want to get to know you. So I know maybe I don't stimulate you as much as I should, but I'm doing my best while navigating all the things that I have going on in the background. So hopefully in time we will get it up and running. Hi Whitney, hi Erla. A little stressed, but we'll be okay. Looking forward to the session. Yes, trust me, I felt extreme today. Started exceptionally early for me. I am currently having like a 12-hour day right now because I got up at 5 and I think I probably am only more or less surviving on about 4 or 5 hours sleep. But guess what? It's nothing that a cold shower can fix. So it's very rejuvenating when you take a nice cold shower. What I did is when I came in, I relaxed for like about an hour and then I went to lay down for a little bit. So this is what I want you to do. If there are any questions, it doesn't matter what it is, before the session is ended, I would love for you to pop in and ask a question in relation to the topic the key to aging well, self-care practice. If you have a self-care practice that you would like to share, I would invite you to do so. Remember, I like to have conversations and not a monologue. All right. So, hi, Arlene. I don't know if you are still there on Instagram. So, I'm going live in both places so that hopefully, in time I can reach more people. So, yeah, the key to aging well. And why is aging such a big deal? Because I know as a young woman in my 20s or maybe even my 30s, I honestly never thought about aging until probably in my 40s, and I have a lot of female friends that are younger too. And I realized there are some women have a lot of anxiety around aging. But what I can tell you is this from my personal experience, I am enjoying the process of aging. I don't even know what 53 is supposed to feel like or even look like because most people um, they put me at in my 30s and not at 53. So I am going to share from my perspective what some of the things that I've been doing and what I believe has been helping me to stay grounded and focused and everything else. Most people think a job as a makeup artist is not hard work, but trust me, it is glamorous, but it is a lot of hard work. Sometimes we have very long days, 13 or 14 hour days. Some days um, would start at 3 a.m. in the morning because you might want to catch the first sunlight. And some days are 14 hours, some days are 16 hours. Some days I'm standing for 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 hours straight. So, and then it's not just in a pretty places. I go to some of the most interesting locations. Like a couple of weeks ago, my first photo shoot, we were shooting all the way up in the mountains. So it's like hiking and a good probably 30 minutes walk into where the location is. So it's something that um, forces me to be very conscious, be very aware of my stamina. So I try to exercise. I try to, make sure that I'm eating right and all that cool stuff because you always have to be fit. And one of the key things that I would say when it comes to aging gracefully or aging well is to keep moving. Even if you're not in the gym every day, I would suggest taking a mindful walk. So, I believe when it comes to aging, you have to have a very holistic approach. What I mean by a holistic approach, a lot of us, we only focus on probably taking care of our body, but we don't understand the importance of, sorry, the importance of the whole holistic approach, mind, body, spirit, mental health, everything. So I break it down like this: the mental health, emotional health, physical health, and your spiritual health. So those are the four areas that I think that we need to have a serious balance of. Because when I finally got a balance on those four areas, I think my lifestyle, my peace of mind, and I feel more grounded. So let's talk about spiritual health. Um, a lot of times, most people think when it comes to spirituality, it's all about going to church and getting baptized and all that good stuff. Nothing is nothing is wrong with that, but the key thing is for you to have a very strong spiritual grounded lifestyle. And what I mean by that, you don't have to live in the church 24/7, right? A long time ago, I have this friend, I could call her name Rosemary. And Rosemary, she used to conduct this like a Bible study class, and she did an analogy with a lamp. And I don't know if you guys could visualize with me. Just go here with me for a second. I didn't even think about it, but anyways, I'm gonna try to just bring your mind's eye to what I'm trying to describe to you. Think about a lamp, the one that you lit, that you would light with a match that has the kerosene thingy, right? So think about the outer shade as our physical body, right? And think about the inner part of the lamp as your spirit, and where you would light the fire as the soul. So, in order for you to really tap into your spirituality, you have to have this connection with your soul, right? So, if it's like, it's almost like electricity as well. You can have electricity running through your house, but if you don't plug in, you would not get the benefit of what that electricity is. It's the same thing with us. We are more than just flesh and blood and veins. And from my experience, I've been going to church since I was in my teen. I have been baptized and all that good stuff, going to Bible studies and all that stuff. And there was a disconnect for me until I understand that there is a huge difference between religion and spirituality. Spirituality helps to connect with that inner part of you that is the part that navigates our every step. And I believe, like I was sharing with a friend of mine who's a bishop, and I said to him, one of my biggest disappointments with church is that you guys seem to focus more on driving fear of God into people as opposed to teaching us how to love God. I mean, like I could tell you, I'm just saying from my experience, maybe your experience will be different. The focus seemed to be on controlling you from a fear based factor as opposed to liberating you for you to understand that, just like the Bible says, greater is he that is in you than he that's in the world. So if God is in me, then God is a part of me. He's not outside of myself. So I cannot have a relationship with God if I don't have a relationship with inner parts of me. So from my when I start asking these questions and I start exploring, I realize that God is really not outside of me. God is inside of all of us. You know, we're all connected. I feel like if we live in this world, and it's just like a giant playground, and we're all somehow connected. And for me, when I get together with the right person or find myself in the right situation, the way how I describe it is like, have you ever fixed a puzzle? You see the picture on the box, and then you try to find all the pieces that will just come together and make that picture. And when you find the right piece that fits into the right spot, it just goes click. And there's just a sense of satisfaction knowing that this aspect is helping to complete the bigger picture. And I feel that's what spirituality kind of help us to do. It helps you to really connect with your inner self, your inner world, help you to understand who you are, what you're about, what your likes are, what your dislikes are. It helps you to have a relationship with your I call it my higher consciousness, I call it my GPS, I call it my gut game. I have all these different names for my relationship with my spiritual self. And it's one of the most important aspects of our being. And a lot of times we don't pay attention to it until we find ourselves in trouble. Then you go to God and you're praying or whatever. Then there's nothing wrong with that. But I believe that when you invested time in having a real relationship with your higher consciousness and finding out who God is or what the spirit is all about. And there's heartache for me. It's like there has to be more to life than just waking up every day, going to work, chasing the mighty dollar, paying bills, connecting and disconnecting with people. So I started asking questions and then the guidance came. So developing a spirit man is important. If your body is weak and your spirit is strong, you can survive most things. But if your spirit is weak and you have a strong body, it's not likely that you will survive when the challenges come. So that is one of the most important things I would say when it comes to self-care practice. Spirituality is a must. And I think also when it comes to the practices that you will get it engaged in that will keep you grounded is a personal choice. Some people do yoga, some people do meditation. I listen to positive, uplifting music. I listen to positive, uplifting um, podcasts. I listen to conversations. I read books, and it really helps to keep me grounded and help me to sometimes understand a particular season I'm maybe trying to navigate, because life, just like the natural elements or nature in itself, has all these different seasons, all these different times, and things that happen in the natural. I believe it's the same thing for us human beings. We don't, every day is not going to always be a high day, and every day is not going to be a low day. We will go through these different seasons depending on what God is preparing us for at any given point in time. So a lot of times we think, okay, we're under attack because of something bad that we did, but it's nothing of the sort. We just have to grow, and we have to grow through, and it's not anything to punish you or make you feel as though you are whatever. So I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So that is the one thing. And the other part of the holistic approach is taking care of your mental health. We don't understand how very delicate our mind is. And I observe it a lot because sometimes passing through the city, you see all these people maybe standing on the street corner or sitting on the street corner or walking around talking to themselves. And we don't realize that something is definitely wrong, because they would have had a moment when they succumbed to feeding a particular thought, because the mind is so fragile. All it takes is for you to be in a really bad space and to have that one little voice that you tend to just feed and feed and feed, and before you know it, you could snap. That's how delicate the mind is. So you have to indulge in practices that will help you to keep a healthy mental mindset. And I think for me personally, that happened when I started to manage my self talk. And what I mean by managing your self talk is that we think that our biggest enemies is outside of ourselves, and the biggest enemy is not outside of ourselves. It is the enemy within, the inner me, as they would say, the inner me. Because you could talk yourself into misery, or you could talk yourself into fabulous experiences. So it's about becoming conscious of your thoughts, and we're always thinking, whether we are aware of it or not. We're always thinking, and a lot of times you tell yourself all these negative things. I don't want to put it out there, but I'm sure every one of us would have had an experience of what that negative self talk could be. And I started to, especially as I started to get older, whenever I do look at myself in the mirror, I don't say anything negative. I don't think I'm fat. I don't think I'm too this or too that, or my nose this or my face that or my skin that. I do not indulge in that, because it's the one thing that puts you in a place of discomfort, uncertainty, and then when you get out there, somebody will make it their business to tell you exactly what you're thinking, and that's because you were giving off that energy or are attracted. Mind you, there's some people who are very malicious, and they may say things just to either willfully hurt you or just to throw you off guard. I remember this one time. What I usually do for myself is, most people, when they look at me, they think I have it all together, but it don't always be like that. On my days that I have, I would say my most challenging days are the days when I put more effort in my outward appearance. Because to me, when I look at the mirror, look at myself in the mirror, and I look a particular way, I automatically feel confidence. I feel a little bit better about what's going on the inside. And so when somebody comes to me now with an attack, I'm in a better position just to not allow it to infiltrate my positivity. So there was this one particular time I remember I'm all dressed up and I'm thing because I woke up not feeling like I need to leave the house. And that was when I had this job where I knew that I no longer needed to be there. So it became like a drag to get up to go to work on mornings. And some days I had experiences where I got up and get dressed and then end up not going. So I got all dressed up and I gone. And then within about 2 hours, one day the woman I was working with was like, "Oh my God, you look so tired." I was like, "Really?" I said, "Maybe you just have on your tired eyes. So that's how you see me because I know I look amazing." So you always have to put yourself in a position where you're so mentally strong and you always have positive self talk or positive self conversations going on that you don't have the time to entertain any kind of negativity, whether it's malicious or intentional or non intentional. All right, so manage your self talk so that your mental health can be in a better place. If you think that you are navigating a space where you can manage it by yourself, then go see a professional. It's good to talk, get involved in journaling, and then I'm gonna tie it into your emotional health. This is another area that we don't pay a lot of attention to, our emotional health. And you might want to think, okay, what is the difference between emotional health and mental health? Your mental health has to do with your thoughts, your emotional health has to do with your feelings. And your thoughts can directly affect how you feel. You could talk yourself into feeling sick with just your mental negative self talk. That is how important it is for you to have a spirituality on top first, then your mental health, because you'll be able to control your thoughts or monitor your thoughts and recognize when negative thoughts are seeking in so you can replace it with whether it's an affirmation, because there are different techniques that you can use to really help you to navigate that aspect of it. So if you do not manage your mental health and your negative self-thought, it would automatically affect your emotions. And when you start to feel, most of the time emotion is feeling down, you might feel sad, you might feel depressed, and it's all because of what you're thinking. So there's a saying that says, don't believe everything you think and don't believe everything you feel, because most of it is not even true. So Earl says, managing your thoughts all the time, not easy today, but was not one of those days. Yeah, managing, so it's like a muscle, right? Sometimes it's not, in the beginning, it wouldn't be easy to manage your thoughts, but once you become aware, and I think we don't, there's a simple practice that you can do whenever you find yourself in a space, because like especially if you would have had like maybe a negative confrontation with whether it's a family member or a workmate or whoever, and they already gone about their business and you carrying on this whole conversation in your head. Once you become conscious of that, it's like you have to develop your awareness muscle. Yeah, that's what I want to say. When it comes to managing your thoughts, you have to develop your awareness muscle, so that once you become aware that you are going on and on and on in your head, you take sit wherever you are, except if you're driving, you won't be able to close your eyes, but you can definitely take some nice deep breaths. If you're in a space where you are alone and you could just close your eyes and breathe from all the way down from the bottom of your stomach, and you hold that there, and then you release it through your mouth. And you do that about 3 or 4 or 5 times. It's called intentional breathing. You would be amazed to see the or feel effect that it could have on your body. So whenever you find yourself going into that kind of thing, take some nice deep breaths. What I also do is I also would engage, whether it's an affirmation. You will have to develop You will have to figure out what affirmations work for you. My favorite Bible scripture, most people know the 23rd Psalm, and it's very, very powerful. You don't even have to say the whole thing, you could just say the first verse. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Just those couple of words while you're breathing helps to bring you back to your center, because you remember the spirituality is the core of who you really are, your spirit being. We're just flesh in a spirit body, or we are just spirit in a human body. But we are still navigating the whole getting to know ourselves, or we know ourselves as spiritual beings, right? So we know most people think they're just flesh. And the people who are conscious and waking up, we know that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. But at the same time, the duality is we are human beings trying to remember the spiritual experience. So that's why I put spirituality at the top of my list, because once you develop a relationship with the core of who you are as a person holistically, then it will be easier for you to get back to your center. It don't matter how bad the situation is. And I'm not saying that I don't have moments when I don't succumb to the human aspect of whatever and go into worry or stress or whatever. But it's not something that happens to me for a very long time. So controlling your thoughts is very difficult in the beginning, but it's like going to the gym. It's a muscle. And what I usually try to do is before I get out of bed, I try to center myself first. I don't have like a particular practice. Like some people will get up and they will go to yoga or whatever the case is. I just go with the energy of the flow of the day. All I know is I want to wake up. I am very grateful that I have another day, so I put that out there. I am also very conscious that guess what? I am in control of how my day is gonna go. So I command my morning. I give thanks for a great day. I my one of my affirmations is the Spirit of God goes before me, making clear and easy my way. Protecting me from dangers, all dangers seen or unseen. All right. So you could develop your own thing as you go along. And there are lots of affirmations out there that can help to guide you and keep you centered. So if during the course of the day something throws you off balance, then you have something there to go back in to keep you centered. So the other thing that I do when it comes to um, helping me with my emotional and my spiritual, and not spiritual, emotional and mental health, I manage what I see and what I hear. And a lot of times we don't understand how important it is to not just, when we talk about nurturing ourselves, we only think about the physical food that we put into our mouths. But it also has a lot to do with what you see and what you hear. Because, for example, let me just take a sip of this. Hold on. Yeah. So, for example, there's all these conspiracy theories that is being bounced around, and there's so much misinformation on the internet, and there's so many people who sit down and soak that up. So, if you find yourself in a crisis, you don't have anything positive to go on. And why I talk about when it comes to spirituality, I listen, I read. So whenever I find myself in a space where I'm in trouble, whether it's emotionally or mentally, I am supposed to go into my reservoir of whether it's a conversation, a passage I read in a book, or a conversation I had with a friend. That positive self talk or that positive reaffirmation is there. I have a connection with the Holy Spirit. Maybe there are times when you're in so much turmoil, it you don't know how to disconnect from your thoughts and your ego and just connect with spirit. So those are things that you will have to navigate and see how it works for you. So we talked about. I'm just gonna recap really quickly. We talked about we talk about the holistic approach. So self care and what are the keys to aging well? Um, Mental health, managing your spirituality. That's the first thing that I say. Managing your mental health, which is your thoughts, and then managing your emotional health, because the emotional health and your mental health are connected. Because once you start thinking, you will start feeling a particular way. And as you start feeling a particular way because of your thoughts, you can also change your thought into feeling better as well. So I want to challenge you that the next time you find yourself in that kind of situation, just entertain yourself. And if you're thinking thoughts that have you feeling down, have you feeling sad, have you feeling stressed out, just switch it and think about things that make you feel happy. As a matter of fact, just go to YouTube, pop in I don't know what you like to do to entertain yourself, but one of the things that I absolutely love is looking at Steve Harvey, that show. What's the name of that show? Family Feud. That show is hilarious, and before you know it, you will start laughing, and you won't even remember what the hell was stressing you out in the first place. And then, of course, if it's like on a more serious level, you need to make sure that you have your journal, because journaling is very, very important. If you don't have somebody that you could talk to, offload your thoughts on paper. So, and then the last and the fourth one, the fourth holistic approach is the physical health. And that's where how you eat, exercise, how you treat your body comes in. All right. And of course, as it relates to aging and what health issues you will have, it will all determine on how you eat and what you're putting into your mouth on a regular basis. I'm not going to even attempt to think that I'm not a preacher, but according to what the Bible says, it's not what comes out of him, it's not what goes into a man that defiles him, it's what comes out of him. So it's important for you to develop a really good nutrition, understand what your body does. The most important thing that everybody needs to do is exercise. And a simple thing as just walking around your neighborhood, you don't even have to be walking briskly. If you could spend 45 minutes a day walking, it will do so much for your cardiovascular health. Because I know personally, I had a season when I was totally out of it and I did not used to go out unless I absolutely had to. And the day I started to move around, I swear I was going to get a heart attack. And I swear to God, I would never do that to myself again. So it really is important for you to get outside, um, figure out what you like. When you start developing an intimate relationship with yourself, you will be in a better position to figure out what your likes are, what do you dislike, what you don't like doing. I know for a fact that I love to dance, but of course, for the last year and change, there's no way for us to dance. Guess what? Dancing in the living room. Put some music on, whatever your favorite music is, and you just have a party. The whole idea is for you to move, is for you to have movement. And once you start moving and you start dancing, it brings up some kind of, I don't know the medical term for it, but it makes you feel so good that you will end up forgetting about the thing that was stressing you out. And it also puts you in a place of neutral. So you really have to connect with that inner part of yourself and the part of you that will give you the answers that you need. Because nothing that you need is outside of yourself. So once you have a connection, you have all four of these connected, what is going to happen is when you find yourself in a jam where the unfortunate thing, let me just say this real quick. The unfortunate thing is when a challenge is going to come up, it don't come and ask your permission. It don't come knocking at your door and say, hey, guess what? Tomorrow at 5 o'clock, I come and you up. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't do that. What? It just freaking just show you off guard. You could be having the best day ever or having the best week, and then bam, something happens and it throws you completely off. But when you have these four things at least down and those challenges come, you will be able to step back and say, okay, God, what am I supposed to be learning from this? What is this challenge here to teach me? And you will start asking intelligent questions. So when you start asking intelligent questions, you are in a position where you will be given intelligent directions. And you just have to learn how to trust the process as you go along. So unfortunately, when adversity is going to knock at our door, it doesn't ask our permission. And when it comes, just know that guess what? It comes because it's time for you to grow, or it's time for you to, as they say, glow up. All right. So don't sit down in a corner and have this whole pity party. Well, okay, if you want to, you can have a pity party, but don't let it last for more than a day. Indulge yourself, because I think it's important for us to like really honor what we feel at any given moment, whether we feel sad, happy, whatever the emotion is, because it's all part of us, and it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to have a negative moment. It's okay to have a tantrum fit or whatever. But at the end of the day, is you are aware of it. And then I want to share one important thing, and I think it's only within the last, I would say, maybe 3 years or so, I have been learning how to master the art of being an alchemist. And if you never heard the word before, look it up. Being an alchemist means having the ability to turn any situation around to your benefit. And it's all about our perspective, because that's really what the bottom line is all about: perspective. Understanding that, you know what, all I can control is how I feel. I can't control the weather. I can't control if Mark Doris is going to be upset with me for saying this, or Erla is going to be feeling this way for saying that, or whatever. All I have the control of is how poorly Susan will feel and how it could think. So even if I'm gonna, because our thoughts are so tricky that it could somebody could plant an idea and you will tend to go off on that idea and it's not even true. So what you have to do is be intelligent to recognize when these things come at you. You could dismiss it, because the truth is, when you jump to a conclusion, you jump into a conclusion and you don't have the facts. You don't know the entire story, you're not seeing the entire picture. And I'm going to give you an example of how important perspective is. One night I was driving along the seashore, coming down from the west, heading east, and I'm enjoying the water, and I saw this beautiful moon. But just beyond, there was a turn that I'm coming up to, and it was like a mountain. So as I start to approach the mountain, the moon just disappeared. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is really interesting, because on this side of the mountain, I have this beautiful view. If I call somebody on the phone and I tell them about this really nice full moon that I'm enjoying, but they're on the other side, not seeing it, they will automatically think that I'm lying and it's not there. So, not because you can't see something, or not because you could see something, means it is as it is. Everything has a reason for being the way it is. And until you understand that whole concept, perspective is everything. And you will be in such a better place if you stop jumping to conclusions and you stop entertaining thoughts of what you think the situation is until you have all the facts. It's the most liberating thing that you will do for yourself. And as when it comes to aging well, eliminating stress is number one. And jumping to conclusions is the one thing you'll want to drop like hotcakes. And when I talk about being an alchemist, is, I'm sure all of us would have heard the saying that everything happens for a reason. Have you heard that before? Everything happens for a reason, and nothing happens without a purpose. If you heard that before, just drop some yes or drop some hearts to me. And what I'm sharing is this. um, we don't always understand what is happening in the moment to say, okay, well, we could see the big picture. It's a process that we have to trust. And most of the time, the process is unknown, it's unseen, there's no physical thing to it. So we really don't know what the outcome is. We just really have to trust the process. And like I said, perspective is everything when it comes to being an alchemist, because you will have to learn to trust to say, you know what, God, I am trusting you with this, whatever it is, because I know you would only allow that which is for my highest good. Even if it's a relationship that's coming to an end, that you don't want it to come to an end, but for some reason or the other, if it's showing up like, guess what? It's time to let go. The best thing you could do for yourself is just let it go and trust the process. All right. When it comes to eliminating all the emotions that comes with those kinds of things, journaling is the best. So, anybody have any questions for me? So I just covered the first aspect of it, and it's all about practicing awareness. So get familiar with this word, awareness. Awareness first with being connected to you, not anybody else. You want to almost kind of like deprogram all the programs that you were taught, all the other people ideas that were planted, all the other concepts that was planted, and it's not your original idea. So when you start to develop an intimate relationship with yourself, what happens is this: you are now placed in a position where you know that you know that you know what you know is what you know, because it's something that you can connect with. It's not something that you hear somebody say. Does that make sense? So, when it comes to what are some of the self care practices that have kept me grounded, um, I mentioned earlier making sure that my what I take in on a regular basis is information that is food for my soul. So anytime I have a heart fall, I can go into my reservoir and I could pull something out. I love spending time in nature. Um, I love reading. I would listen to one of those audiobooks now that you can listen. So reading. Another thing, indulging in silence is a very powerful practice. Embracing your solitude, because sometimes you have to plug out to recharge. Unfortunately, I mean, as like total opposite of what you would do with your laptop. You have to plug in your laptop so it can recharge, right? And it's the same thing with us. You have to unplug from the outside world and plug into the inner world so that you can get your recharge. So those are some of my self care practices that have kept me grounded over the years. And I would love to know what yours are. If you don't mind sharing, I would love to hear what you do. Because remember, this is a situation where we all coming together to help each other to grow. So don't just be there and agree with me. Share what you do, because even though this is live, this is us leaving a digital footprint for the future. So think about a young girl or a young guy popping onto this feed 5 years down the line. I want to know what these people back in the day used to talk about. Leave something positive for them. So this is what this is about, all right? So, how do you take care of your emotional well-being? Because remember, it's a holistic thing, right? So I'm gonna put a couple of comments on the screen. Sometimes we fight against trust in the process. We want to force Asian outcome. Yes, Heather, definitely. The minute you start forcing something is the day you'll find yourself in so much problems. And I had so many experiences where that is concerned. And the day I learned how to surrender, because I learned, because a lot of times in the past, surrender used to come across as though it's like a form of weakness or a form of giving up. And especially if you're around people who are probably academically inclined, or uh, they're the regular 95 people. And now, as an artist, you are doing life differently. And we have artists are very unique people. We don't do life like the average person. And when you're around people who are um, on that side of the fence, they really do make you feel like something is wrong. And I remember succumbing to the whole thing of trying to control. Oh, you have to have a plan, you have to have goals. Nothing is wrong with goals. But for me personally, my life has been in this phrase: a man's heart plan his way, but God directs his step. So when it comes to my personal, how I navigate life, yes, I have plans. Yes, I have a desire as to how I want my life to unfold. But when it comes to the process, I have to learn how to trust it. And it's there's this queen on that I've been following for the last year or so. Her name is Sharon Jameson. She has a book called Deciding to Soar. And I have heard her speak a few times, and there's one thing that she says that always resonates with me very, very deeply. She says, marry the vision, but date the path. And that's where a lot of people get tied up, because they are married to the vision and they're married to the path. So they don't understand that you have to be flexible. In this life, if you're not fluid, you'll have problems, because life don't happen the same way for everybody, and it don't happen the same way for every season. And it just comes like your mango tree, or your whatever fruit tree you would have in your yard. This season, it will be bountiful. You'll get fruits to feed the whole village. And the next season, you will barely get fruit for yourself and your family. So nothing is the same all the time. So you have to learn how to trust the process, embrace it, and know that wherever you are, it doesn't matter how low you are being guided, and you are being led to something that is going to definitely be for your highest good. So, how do I manage my emotional well-being? And the first thing, I don't think it was difficult, but of course it was quite a challenge. Learning to be honest with myself, and learning to and with others. And when I say being honest with myself and being not honest with others, how many of you have had this experience where you have friends, you're gonna meet up with your friends on let's say you're supposed to meet at 8 o'clock, right? And a quarter to 8 or 8 o'clock, you're calling them and they're still home and they tell you they're on the way. How many of you have had that? And when I became conscious of how irritated I personally was by that, I started to tell the truth. Guess what? I mean, because you always know, if you're supposed to leave home by 8 o'clock and 7 o'clock, you're now having a shower, and you take more than an hour to get ready, by 7:15, you will get a call from me to say, guess what? I'm gonna run a little bit late. I'm not gonna get there for 8. Give me until 8:30, or give me until 8:15, right? Rather than have the person. 'Cause for me personally, I see it. Time is a very delicate thing. And if you tell me that you're not going to be there for 8, you'll be there at 8:30, it means that I could slip something else in, or I don't have to rush. I could take my time. So a little thing like that can make a huge difference. And you're not doing it for anybody else. You're doing it for yourself. Start telling the truth for yourself. Start speaking the truth for yourself, because they say a truth, a truth will stay in the present, but a lie always hanging out in your future. Does that make sense? A lie hangs out in your future, the truth stay in the present moment, because when you tell one lie now, you have to cover it up with another one. You have to remember what you're saying. And to me, I know it's too much drama, too much stress to try to remember what did I actually say the last time when I was asked this particular question. So I just do what is easier for me, and I just speak the truth. The other thing is, I um I started to practice a long time ago. I am not trying to be anybody else. I'm not trying to be like nobody else. guess what? I could do the best version of Paul Allison D'Souza. I can't do Gloria. I will fail miserably. So for me, I get so much peace in my emotional well being when I stay true to who I am. I stay true to my practices that makes me comfortable. And I also try my best to always be honest with myself. So Anthony says, so now I tell the truth and they say, what you mean? What the hell? Listen to me now. Let me tell you something. That is a real tricky thing, because a lot of times people talk about, oh, I want people to be honest with me and whatever. But trust me, not everybody can handle honest. Not everybody can handle the truth. But guess I will still tell it. So if you can't deal with it, then tough luck for you. Because I mean, even in my relationship, you know, I was like, how you can't tell me how to say. I mean, yes, you're gonna say things in a particular way because you don't want to hurt the other person's feelings or whatever the case is, right? But not everybody can handle the truth. They want to know how this thing looking, and if you're telling the truth, they're upset. What the hell is that about? So if you're not ready for truth, don't hang out with truth telling people. It is that simple. But it is such a beautiful, liberating practice for your emotional well being because you put yourself at a more peaceful state when you're speaking the truth, especially for the people who you love and care about. You don't have to wonder and wait of trying to figure out was the lie that hanging out in your future waiting for you. And especially if you're a man and you're dealing with a woman, women don't forget. So they just waited to catch you to slip up. So my other thing is, and this one is a biggie for me, I stay away from gossip and conflict. So when it comes to my emotional well-being, I do whatever I need to do to take care of myself. I practice not saying anything behind somebody's back that I can't say to the face. I have a lot of friends. I have people who I'm close to. I recognize the personality. Some of them like the real talk, but it's not in a malicious way. So, some time ago, I was reading a book by Yala Van Zandt, and she said, "What you don't want people to know, keep it to yourself." And it's like, why are you giving somebody this big mandate to keep your secret? Keep your damn secret to yourself. So, at the end of the day, you don't have to worry about anybody telling your secret to anybody else. Your shit is safe with you and you only, and your journal. All right. So you got to figure out what works for you. But I don't like the whole drama, he said and she said. So my other thing when it comes to dealing with my emotional well-being is practicing mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness is a big deal. So, how to say it's a facade. Lots of us hide our real truth and emotions behind. Girl, me ain't able with that. That's too much work. So I like people who are straightforward, so I can know exactly who you are and where you're coming from. But Anthony say, I like the gossip. I just encourage it, especially the ones about me. Because if you want to know who I am and what I'm about, come talk to me exactly. So I'm always amazed by that too when it comes to people who think they know you more than you really know yourself. So I have had my full share of that, so I don't even bother. I stopped focusing a long time ago on who's saying what and who doing what because to me, I am too focused on trying to figure this shit out that called life. I mean, when I say shit, it's not shit in a bad way because I do enjoy my life. I have to tell you guys, I had the most amazing birthday. I felt as though it's like I asked for nothing and I got everything. So one of my really good friends and I mean it's interesting that Sonia and I know each other for such a long time. Well, she knew me from way, way, way back in the days when I was modeling and stuff. And we got closer like within maybe the last 3 years or so, 3, 4 years. And she was like, what are you doing for your birthday? And honestly, um, a couple of months ago, I was thinking, maybe let me do one of my beauty empowerment sessions and do it remotely. And then I thought, nah, I don't think I feel like doing that again. So I thought about doing like a complimentary class and having about 15 or 20 women invited and saying, and then, because last year I did a little group session with some ladies and that was really nice. And for some reason, yeah, I wasn't feeling it. I know at some point I will do it because it's something. Because that's the other thing, understanding timing about when spirit give you a particular direction or drop a particular idea. It don't necessarily mean that you have to do it right now. You have to execute it right now. Sometimes it's for sometime in the future. So I didn't feel like I wanted to do anything. I didn't have anything in mind. I was just at neutral. She's like, okay, guess what? Don't plan anything. We're going to Toko. Oh my gosh, we had a wonderful time. And then on Saturday, two of my other, I should say, client friends, sisters now, because we've known each other for so long, they came by on Saturday. They came with drinks. I discovered coconut rum with pineapple juice and a dash of Sprite, and make sure you add mint leaves to that. It's the most divine. Those girls thought about everything. They brought down to ice. They brought me lunch. They brought cake. They brought chips with a dip, and we had a ball. And then another friend came by on Sunday. And then today I was with another friend. We had lunch. I got birthday gifts. So I'm still celebrating my birthday. I had a really wonderful time. And I really appreciate Gloria. I appreciate all of you who you see Gloria, you see those beautiful I'm gonna post them up at some point. The little cartoon things that you did. I thought it was so cute. So I really wanted to pause and just say thank you guys for making this birthday exceptionally special. And I think too, it's the perfect example of letting go and letting God, because sometimes we put all this work into planning how this is gonna be, how you want this thing, and sometimes you just have to relax and let it be and let the universe spoil you. And that's exactly how I felt. I was with this particular weekend because the spot that we went to, I got a birthday call while we were having breakfast, and the person knew the proprietor of the space, and she said, "I'm going to call him right now to make sure he knows that it's your birthday, so he could give you like an extra special treat." And oh my gosh, he so did. We had a wonderful time. Two women in the 50s exploring and experimenting with life. We had a blast, but I can't tell you all. So yeah, practicing mindfulness in every area of your life is one of the ways to help yourself um, to stay on top of your game when it comes to navigating and this whole challenge of life, you know. And like I said, when it comes to your physical well-being, eating healthy, eating consciously, drinking more water, getting more rest, and of course, skincare. You know me, skincare is a big deal for me. Look at me. I ain't doing too bad for 53. No visible wrinkles. I know I lose some weight or whatever the case is. So, on my neck and sagging or whatever. So, skincare, head to toe. When it comes to my hair, skin, and my nails, I would invest in the most expensive, well, not necessarily most expensive, but the best soap, best moisturizer. And these days, I am more navigating the whole naturalness. So for the last 2 years, I have found this oil. It's coconut and lemon oil, and then I spike it with my own special um, essential oils that I have, and then in between, I use Kelly has a line called Nova Skin, and she has this mango shea butter mix up something. It really is nice. Have your skin nice and moist, you know. So yeah, so skincare is very, very important. Exfoliate from head to toe because you don't want a young looking face and the rest of your body is all jacked up. All right. So make sure that you're thing. So in this last part now, a couple I what I did is I made a note of some questions that people have been asking me over the years, and I say I'm going to dive into it. So I'm almost ready to wrap up. And if you guys have any questions that you want to ask me in relation to maybe how I have been navigating my journey in a particular area, now is the time to ask it. All right. So I'm going to give you an extra 20 minutes. And so don't miss out on this opportunity. I know, Anthony, I look like 40 and I feel like freaking 25. I don't even know what. And surprisingly, that's the one question. What is your secret to looking like? This person say I look like in my 30s, but what is your secret to looking like 30, 40 in your 50s? I really believe it's a combination of all the things that I've spoken about. I found a way to eliminate stress. When I say stress in every area of my life, I don't stress in traffic. If I have to go to a government office to do any kind of business, and make sure that I have the morning set aside, so I don't put any extra pressure on myself to say that, okay, I'm going to go to this office and it can only take 2 hours. And then I plan something right after the 2 hours. When I get there, they going through the life like if they're on the beach and you got shit to do and you waiting and you're fuming. So I don't do that to myself anymore. So I put aside the morning or the afternoon. So it takes away that stress and the anxiety of, you know, having to, because sometimes, um, I know some of you would still be in that space where you're here and you're thinking about over there. You have to learn to be present where you are. Like I'm from, as most people would know by now, I'm from Guyana. I have a sick, very sick parent. I used to get anxious whenever the phone rings because at any time I could expect a whatever news. But I stopped putting myself here and there. If I'm here, I'm here. I have conversations with them on a regular basis. I have the peace of mind knowing that I have a good connection with them. The last time I was there, we had quality time. So if anything should happen and I don't get to see him or her or whatever the case is, I am not going to be worried about it because at the end of the day, this is one thing that I have no control over. So my secret to staying youthful is my mindset and embracing life as it is and just being very patient with the process. And the next question I was asked is, why is spirituality most important to our development? And I would say spirituality is like the foundation for your house. If you don't have a good foundation for your house, if you don't have a retaining wall, as soon as the storm comes, what's going to happen? It will wash away everything. So that's my summary of why spirituality is most important, because it's the foundation for everything that I am standing on. I don't know if that makes sense. And then is one of the other question is, what is the key to living a balanced life? What is the key to living a balanced life? And for me, the key to living a balanced life is acceptance. And what I mean by acceptance is this. I think I could sum it up in the form of the prayer of serenity. God grant me the courage to accept the things I cannot change, to the wisdom, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So I think when you understand that there are certain things that you have absolutely no control over, it gives you more of a balance. And I think also when it comes to balance is understanding that sometimes you need to get away from the hustle and bustle of your life. Well, thank God I am in a career that it doesn't matter how long my days are, it does not feel like work for me. So my work is my therapy, so I don't need to get away from my work. What I do, and then sometimes my work is as awesome as shooting something that is right by the sea, and I'm in my element, or going on a hike, as I mentioned earlier. So when I'm outside in nature, whether I'm working or relaxing, it really gives me that sense of well-being and balance. And then, well, before the pandemic, what I would do is from time to time, I would just pull up a movie town, watch a movie. I go out for breakfast by myself, go for a long drive, So those are some of the things that helps me to live a balanced life and understanding how important it is to rejuvenate, and also understanding how important it is to spend time with people who um who adds to my well-being and not suck my life force out of me. So while I would know a lot of people, I don't indulge in a lot of people. I don't know if that makes sense. So I have like about three more questions. And the next one is, how have you managed to have such great skin? What is the secret? So remember I said earlier that you guys can ask me your own questions as well, because this is just a few questions that I pulled from what people had asked me over the last year or so. So if you're on the trail right now, it will be great to pop in and ask anything. So this is the opportunity to ask me any question and I will answer it. But you gotta make it happen within the next 15 minutes, because I said 20 minutes and 8 minutes went. All right. So either you speak now or forever hold that peace. So yeah, how do you manage to have such great skin? What is the secret to your skin? And the secret of my skin is, from as long as I can remember, I generally don't go cheap. Some people will go into the store and they will look for the cheapest product. And I have learned to find a product that is well made, it is affordable, and it's effective. When it comes to my facial care, I use the L'Oreal brand. I like it because it's a French brand, and also it's the drugstore brand of Lancome. And Lancome is a high-end brand. But what they do, don't tell them I tell you this. What most brands do is they develop all their products in one lab, and it's just the packaging that makes it $10 more or $100 more. Sometimes the ingredients as well would be the thing that would make it a little bit more than, the drugstore brand. But every single brand have a high-end brand and a low-end brand. So the L'Oreal is it's affordable, and it's available. Lancome is not something that you could just pop into any store and get. But I started using L'Oreal in my 30s, and I have used quite a few other products in between, like Clarins. I learned that there's as you get older, especially when you hit your 30s and your 40s, you should include eye cream in your skincare routine. You should also include exfoliation, not just your face, the entire body. You should also include a serum, because let me explain what's the difference between a serum and your moisturizer. A serum is designed to penetrate the deeper layers of your skin, and of course, like everything else, it addresses all these different needs. Like for example, as you get to your 30s and 40s, our concern is usually aging lines, fine line, right? So some serums are designed to tackle the aging lines, the fine lines, and there's some serums that are um, formulated to attack like uneven skin tone and all that stuff. So that's why you would always hear me say in the past, develop an intimate relationship with your skin so you can learn what works for you. Because I could tell you what my regime is, but my skin type and your skin type will be different. So by trial and error, sorry. And I know women, y'all are lazy. When I say that, I don't mean to be dissing you, but I'm just telling you that sometimes you're lazy, because what happens is you go invest in all these products and use it once or twice or maybe three times, and then you park it up in the bathroom. And guess what? When it comes to skincare, you don't have to invest extra time. Include it in your bath care routine. So it's like you going to take a shower, and I don't know. I like to bathe morning and at night. The last thing I do before I take my hit my bed is I take a shower, and trust me, I moisturize my body. I scrub my heel in the bathroom. I moisturize my feet, my hands, everything. So it's a holistic care. And when it comes to my diet, I have cut sugar out of my diet, but I wouldn't say completely, but completely to the point where I really don't buy juices. I don't buy juices. I have a small, maybe a half pound pack of sugar that's in my fridge for the last, what, 6 or 7 months. And the only time I use it is if I'm making bread or if I'm going to do some bakes. So I cut out sugar. I don't eat as much chocolate as I used to. I love ice cream. Maybe once a month, once every other month, I may indulge in some ice cream. So it's little things, and I noticed the huge difference it made in my body and how I feel. So when it comes to my skin, I think that's my secret. And every now and then, I detox using either adding coconut, not coconut, either adding cucumber to the water or strawberries or whatever fruit I may have around. So I have, I think, is this a question, Erla? Your regiment. You want to know what my diet regiment is? My diet regimen, especially for the last year, I discover I don't need to eat 3 times a day. My body literally is teaching me a different way of living. So, ideally, I'm not able to do it every day, but ideally, my regiment is when I get up in the mornings, I have um, maybe 2, 3 glasses of water, or maybe one glass, depending on what it is. Like I try to have 16 ounces of water. Sometimes I will put lemon in it. It all depends on if I have. So I'll do that if I when I get up, and then maybe half an hour to an hour, I have a cup of tea, and I'll have a fruit, maybe banana, and that will be it for me until about maybe 12, 1 o'clock. I may have some breakfast, whether it's eggs or whatever. But I don't normally eat bread and all that stuff eventually. And I do yogurt from time to time. I do the probiotic yogurt because, as Anthony is saying, your gut health is very important. And next week I am going to be talking to a health coach. So I think you should pop into the group and post some questions that you may have, so that when we're having a conversation, I could include some of the questions that you're having. But it look as though you guys shy. You're not asking me anything, so I'm just gonna wrap up and ask and respond to two more of these questions. So yeah, so that's my diet regime, and I will do like maybe like a meal, like probably about 2 or 4. Sometimes if I just have fruit in the morning, and I will have a meal like let's say yesterday I had a cup of tea and I had a fruit, and then lunch was exactly at 12:12. And it was this nice piece of chicken breast with vegetables, a nice salad, and some pasta. And that was it for me for the rest of the day. I might have a cup of I discover meringue and mint. I have a cup of meringue and mint at night with no sugar or milk or anything. And that helps to relax me, and I get a good night's rest when I have that. And so from time to time I also use the probiotic yogurt or uh, cranberry juice. So Joanne says one has to realize how important one is to oneself and let go of those people and things that no longer contributes to. Exactly. Yes, that definitely is self care because it don't make sense, at least not to me, to keep people who just adding stress and drama to your life. Then you just indulging in it. So you have 10 more minutes to ask a question. So my next one is um they asked me if my hair is real. Is your hair real? And how was your natural hair journey? How has your natural hair journey been? And yes, my hair is real. All of it. I grow it from nothing because when I started my locks I actually cut my hair in 2005. I had shoulder length hair and I used to rock it really nice and straight. And I think it was like a process that I've been through, and I've been thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I made a pact with God and I said, I want to first start. I wanna really get to. I think that's when I got really serious in my spiritual journey, and I said I wanna make a commitment by shaving my hair off, and just connecting to learning to know who I am from, because most people tend to think, here is it. But I honestly never had that kind of relationship with my hair because I am a hairstylist. I started as a hairstylist, so cutting hair and all that was never a big deal for me. Cutting your hair, actually, trimming your hair every 6 weeks is the best thing you can do for your hair growth. So if you're still out there and you're still relaxing your hair and stuff, every 6 to 8 weeks, trim off your split ends, because what happens is, like, if you put a strand of hair under a microscope, what you will see is like little scales, right? So scales that's overlapping. And what happens when you have a split end and you don't get rid of it? It splits all the way up the hair strand, and it end up giving you this whole stringy vibe. And if you're processing your hair, make sure that your stylist knows exactly what he or she is doing, because only the new growth is supposed to get chemicals. So when it comes to my hair care, and my natural hair journey, that's a whole other episode. I'm going to talk about that another time. But yes, for the person who asked, my hair is all real. I have been, when I cut my hair in 2005, I just enjoy every stage of my hair until it's all the way down there. I did a trim, because it had grown all the way down past my hips, and I didn't like the whole. I think too, I was at a stage where I felt as though, you know what, I need to trim off. Like I said, it's like a tree. When you groom in it, you need to groom your plants and stuff. Same thing with your hair. And I felt I was at that stage where my hair needed grooming. So I needed to cut off some of the negative energy and just get like a fresh groom. So I think I took off, the longest piece was like about 12 inches. And that was a little over, I think it was a little over a year and change ago. I know my hair is all the way down again, but what I love now is like almost all one length. And then, um, every week I ask the same question to my guests. Two questions. No, actually, this one was three. What is your superpower? What are you most grateful for? And do you have any regrets in life to date? So I'm going to answer all three. And like I said, I'm giving you 10 more minutes. And if you have any questions, this is the time to ask me anything that you're curious about, not necessarily my personal life, but anything that I would have shared that pique your curiosity and you need some guidance or whatever. Go ahead and ask, right? Ah, yes, Heather. Heather, you hit the nail on the head. I didn't remember that one. I think sex and paying attention to our sexual well being is almost important to our overall spiritual, mental, and emotional health. That is so true. I have a friend who says she is like 60 and so freaking fabulous. So, Anthony, if you think I am looking like my 40s or 50, you should see her at 60. She looked 40 something. And her saying is, an orgasm a day keeps the doctor away. But this is going to be a whole other conversation by itself. So, yeah, and I mean, I could take this in so many different directions because I could talk to you about everything. And a lot of times we don't understand how important our sexuality is. And as women, we are entitled to enjoy sex as much as men. And most women don't even know that. We hide our desire for sex, and we think it's only a man thing. But let me tell you something. You can always spot a grumpy woman. You could know that she had an orgasm in like forever. Because I guarantee you, if you get in some regular with or without, you would not be bitchy and grumpy and snotty and nasty. But that's another conversation. I definitely will have this one at some point. So, what is my superpower? I think, when it comes to my superpower, I I would say multidimensional. And these days, I think my superpower is my my ability to stay focused and centered. That is what my superpower is these days, my resilience and my persistence as well, because in spite of what life has been throwing at all of us in the last year, some people would have given up, some people have thrown a towel, but I am still trusting God because I believe. You see this tattoo on my arm. It says faith, hope, love, strength. These are the words that I live by. Yeah. So once there is love and faith, there is hope, and once there is hope, there is strength. So these words keep me very, very grounded. And the other one is, what am I most grateful for? I am most grateful for my ability to let go and let God, because like I said, for my birthday, my recent birthday, I had such an amazing time. And like I realized that unlike a lot of people who have to have a lot, all I need is just one person that could vibe with me in a particular way. And my girlfriend and I, we left home early. I drove, and because they know that I like driving, like taking long drives, so we drove up the road and said, "Okay, let's aim to get to where we want to go by seven, by 9." It's like a 2 hour, 2.5 hour drive because the road is bad. So I said, I want to start early. That's the only thing. I mean, I'm not really an early morning person. Is I want to start early because there's something about the morning. I just wanted to come out and enjoy that fresh, new beginning kind of thing. So she picked me up like around, I think she got to me like around 6:30. And by the time we stopped for gas and get ice and all these kinds of things, we got up to the location at exactly 5 minutes after 9. And we had breakfast. We had this nice villa by ourselves in the middle of the mountain trees and the birds, and it was just the most beautiful feeling. And then this guy came and took us to a little private beach, and there was a waterfall, and your girl was in her element. I had a wonderful time. We got back, we had lunch. It was just amazing. I'm saying, with all the other surprises that I had from people who called and people who gave me gifts and stuff like that, it was literally like I asked for nothing and I got everything. That's the best way I could describe it. I missed my loves, I missed my family, but at the same time I was full. So I don't know if that even makes sense. So I in that moment I really didn't need anything. So I am most grateful for the fact that I can stay present and not think about what is not there in the moment, because I know that my life is not at its final destination. None of us are at our final destination. So I'm not going to waste a moment crying about, oh, my family is so far away and all this kind of stuff when I have so much that I could enjoy right here and now. So that's what I did. And the last question before I leave is, oh, do I have any regrets? Do I have any regrets? This is a question that I've pondered on a couple of times. And I'm thinking, and I mean, I'm trying my best to be honest with myself. And I have turned this over inside and out, inside and out. I mean, including all the challenges and all the little, I shouldn't say, some of the big ups, some of the big downs. I mean, I know what it's like to have a miscarriage at 6 months. I know what it feels like to be heartbroken. I know what it feels like to lose people I love. And I am aware of how painful life could be. But when I look back and I put everything in its perspective, I think all my experiences that I've had all the way over there, when I accumulate it or I put it together, I can't say that I have any regrets because every single part of it contributes to who I am today and who I am still becoming. So it's like I cannot wait to meet my future self. So I'm really, really excited. And I'm excited because I'm in a space where I am more grounded, I am more um, into me, I am more connected. So I believe that this is the best stage of my life because at this particular phase, manifesting other parts of my life should not even be an issue. So I am excited about meeting my future self. So that's basically it for today. And next week, like I said, I have a health coach who's going to be chatting with me. And I guess you guys are like super shy because I don't have any questions. I don't have, I have a few comments, but I think we went through them already. So, on that note, if you have nothing else to say or share or ask, I will just let you guys go because what I noticed is I originally started off to have this at the hour, and now it is hour 28. Most of the times it's about this, anyways. So, I want to say thank you again for sharing your most valuable asset with me, which is your time. I also want to remind you that you're welcome to join the Facebook group, Real Beauty Talk. It's a private group and it's not, I don't think it's searchable. So invite your friends, share positive affirmations, anything that you want to share. Also, check out my YouTube channel, Paula D'Souza TV. Like, subscribe, and share. And I'm also a makeup artist. If you have anything special coming up and you want to do, even if it's a girlfriend's line or whatever, I would love to be able to facilitate that. And I gonna take this opportunity to say happy birthday to anybody who's celebrating the birthday today and tomorrow, the rest of the week. I appreciate you lots. Thank you to all my friends, all my family, all my sisters, all my queens, all my kings who invested some time and wishing me happy birthday. I really appreciate all your greetings. I enjoy reading them. And I just want to say I am extremely grateful for life right now. So you're most welcome, Heather. Thank you so much. Let me just put it on. Thank you so much thus far. This has been interesting and informative. Thank you. Hello, my beautiful sister Karen. I love you and I miss you lots. Thank you, Erla. Thank you, Anthony, for popping in. You're probably one of the few guys who pop in and actually leave comments and interact, and I appreciate that so much. Thank you, Joyanne. I know you probably pop in and out. I love you. I miss you lots. Joyanne is one of the most amazing women I know on the planet. She's a great cook. She's a great, she loves to take care of people, and she's just absolutely awesome. And I miss her a lot. One of the things I notice is a lot of people who I'm close to always move away to another country, but it's all good. And Keola, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Keola Rodney, thank you for popping by. I appreciate all of you. So let me see what is this. Oh, Elba, thank you for popping by. And I don't know why you guys are shy. You needed to ask some questions, but you didn't. So that's how you participate and how we get to learn about each other and share things. Because remember, this is not just about now, this is about the future. All right. So if you want to ever leave a message for the future, whoever's going to pop on, because this is not going to go anywhere. This is us leaving a positive digital footprint. All right. So, hi Diane. Thank you for popping by. You know I love you, Joy. And girl, let me tell you something. I can't wait for the day I could come and sit down by you and enjoy some of your Sunday lunch. Let I tell you this woman could cook. If my friend Sonia think that I could cook and she ever eat from you, she would disown me. Yes. So, anyways, you guys take care. Don't forget to share. And I will see you next week. Next week we have the health coach on. And if you have any questions about diet, health, gut health, because she has an ebook about gut health, and we're gonna dive into some of that next week. So I love you guys. Have the most amazing rest of the day. Have a peaceful rest. Have the most amazing rest of the week. And remember, you are super awesome. I love you guys. Mwah. Have a good one. Blessings. Bye, Whitney.